always wanted to be that person who was bubbly, who was magnetic, who could strike up a conversation with anybody in the room and was just really witty and fun. But in reality, I was very socially awkward, kind of shy, a little bit reserved. And because of that, I had issues making friends. Some of you are the same. You don't know how to start a good conversation with someone. You just find the process of making friends a little bit of a task. From one awkward introvert to another, here is how I learned to make some of the best friends I have ever had in my life. Hi guys, it's Jessica and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to teach a lot of people how to make friends because for some people it does not come naturally. It does not come as like this skill that you're kind of born with, and some of us don't know how to work a room and things like that. Well, I'm going to teach you what I learned and how I managed to make some of the best friends I've had to date. These are the video chapters. Let's get right into the video. So the first thing that you are going to implement in order for you to make such good friends is to remove contrasting personality types as your role models. If you're someone that is introverted, if you're someone that is more quiet, more shy, and you're looking at the loudest person in the room, the one who literally can have a conversation with the wall as your role model, it's just not going to work because the fundamentals of your guys' personalities are so different that it's going to be so difficult to achieve that ideal because that's not who you are. You need to look at people who are just as confident and good at working a room but are also introverts. You need to look at people who are confident and also good at working a room and striking up a conversation or just being good conversationalists, but they are also a little bit reserved. By you looking at really extroverted people as role models and just like the way to go, you're telling yourself that certain characteristics that you have are undesirable and that's the reason why you don't have friends. They're the characteristics that make you you. They're the characteristics that make you unique. And there's certain advantages that you have as an introvert that a lot of extroverts don't have. For example, if you are more observant than other people, if you are a little bit quieter than other people, you listen a little bit more. You're a good listener. If you're more observant, you notice things about other people. You can use that to your advantage. Lean it into it. If you're a good listener and you hear someone drop in something in passing and you remind them of it later, that literally tells them, oh my gosh, this person was actually listening to me. This person genuinely cares, which is a good trait of a friend, okay? Use these little traits or characteristics that you have as an introvert or as a somewhat awkward person that tends to listen a little bit more than talk more, and use that as your strength to make friends. So look into more confident versions of your personality type or people that have your characteristics but at a more confident and more pleasant conversationalist manner and emulate them because that will help eliminate any dissonance. The next thing that you are going to do in order to make friends is to find in-person groups or clubs surrounding your interests. You probably spend a lot of time by yourself. You probably do a lot of things on your own. You have lots of hobbies, lots of skills. Take that interest, that passion, that hobby out of the comfort of your own home and into the presence of other people. There are going to be so many clubs near you or in your schools, in your universities, in your institutions that are surrounding the things that you enjoy. If you like reading, join a local book club. If you like dancing, join a local dance team. Go to the dance classes that your school offers. You're not going to lose anything and you're going to gain friends. You're going to be able to talk to people on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and that will breed familiarity between you and them. Why I would suggest for you to do this is because you're literally going to be in a space doing something that you're already comfortable with. You're already familiar with this activity, so that's one less thing for you to be worried about. I like books. So if you like books and you're going to a book club, you have the book thing in common. You don't have to scramble for other topics. You could talk about books. You can talk about your favorite book. You can ask them what their favorite book is. And that is already a conversation started that is literally handed to you on a plate by you just going to your local club for your interests that you already have. It removes such anxiety from the situation of you making friends and you'll want to go back. And because you keep going back, the proximity of you with other people that have shared interests and just the familiarity with your face, that will be your helping hand in making friends. Another thing that I'd like to add is if you don't really have many hobbies, but you have a lot of things that you're interested in, this is such a good starting ground for you because then you could go to a group that talks about something that you're interested in and you can ask questions. You can make friends by getting someone that is more knowledgeable in something that you're interested in, and because you both have a common point of interest and you are willing to learn, you're going to be conversating. That common point of conversation, they're going to be speaking, you're going to be asking. And friendships sometimes form by people feeling useful to you. So friendships sometimes form by people helping you, and so by you asking them questions, they feel like they're of use to you, and then you guys can bond that way. Another thing that you are going to do in order for you to invite and attract friends is to appear as inviting as possible. Guys, when I tell you, our stance, our face expressions mean everything. I talk about that in my video, how to have the confidence of a star, and also how to not have your lack of confidence be sniffed out from a former pretender, because stance is everything, facial expressions is everything. So you are going to look up, you're going to study open body languages and start using them. Do not stand with your arms crossed, do not close yourself off, do not turn away from the room, but face into the room and be open. If you were like me and you have an RBF, I know the struggle, you're going to need to smile. This will show people that you are not intimidating, that you are actually friendly, and it welcomes people in. It shows that you're open to conversation. Usually I used to have such an issue with it because I was like, why do I need to smile? Like, why can't they just approach me? Like, I'm not intimidating, but it's the message that you're sending off. And so I'm not saying that I'm a smiley person 24/7. I do smile a lot, but if there's nothing to smile about, I'm not going to smile. And so if I see someone and we make eye contact, then I smile, and it's a genuine smile. I smile with my whole face, not just my mouth, to show that I'm a pleasant person and that I would actually be open for a conversation with that person should one happen. The next thing that you're going to need to master in order for you to be able to make friends is the basics of small talk. Now, if you were anything like me, I hate small talk. Small talk is awful, but it is so necessary, guys. It really is. So this is something that you're going to need to master. This is not something that you can bypass. You won't always find those people that you kind of gel with instantly, or that you can kind of be a little bit of your weird self around them. So you need to ease them into being friends with you. You need to ease them into your personality. And small talk helps you do that. Safe topics depend on the context. So if you're at university and you're in class and you want to make friends with someone in your class, talk about the class. Oh, did you enjoy that? Just start with a question, and then if they enjoy it, you can go back and forth on that, and then you introduce yourself. I'm Jessica, by the way. What's your name? And then you ask their name, and then you ask them what they're studying. Don't just talk about yourself, okay? Ask questions. Find out more about them, because you're getting to know each other. You're not just talking at them and telling them about what is good about you. It is not an interview, it is a conversation. Ask them questions depending on the context and find out more about how they relate to the particular context that you guys are in. If you were in a dance class, ask them, how long have they been dancing? What is their favorite genre? Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Jessica. What's your name, by the way? Or do you come here every week? There's going to be something interesting that is said in between your guys' conversation, and you can catch on to that and then push the conversation towards that way if you are genuinely uncomfortable with the small talk. Small talk and just conversation in general is kind of like a dance. If you're not used to it, your body will be a little bit rigid, but at some point it becomes muscle memory and you will be very fluid, and your conversations will flow and they'll be very natural. It'll kind of be like second nature. Okay, just practice it more. Practice. Stay to the end of this video. I will give you guys practical tips and things that you can implement today to help you make friends and just be a really good conversationalist. The next thing that you are going to do in order to make friends, the phrase, I like your blank, and I love that, tell me more, are going to be your best friends. I like your blank. Compliments, guys, compliments are such a good way. First of all, they brighten the person's day that you're giving them to, okay? Don't just be someone that just throws out compliments here all the time if you don't feel it. Make them genuine, because if they're ingenuine, people will be able to tell. So compliments are a really good way to break the wall between you and another person, okay? It might not be the best conversation starter, but it is a way to break the ice between you and another person. So I'm into fashion. If you are also into fashion, you can find out something that you really like on someone's clothes, or what they're wearing, or the way that they style their hair, etc., etc. And you could be like, oh, I really like your skirt, by the way. And they'd be like, thank you. You would just follow that up with a, I needed to tell you because I was looking at it for such a long time and it was just so beautiful. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then you ask for their name. So you only do a little bit of the input for a small bit, and then you always relay the conversation back to the other person. But I like your blank is going to be a good way to get into there. Compliments are always very good, but only when they are genuine. If you like someone's hair, tell them that you like their hair. If you like someone's handwriting, tell them that you like their handwriting. It's not odd, it's a compliment. And if they find that odd, then they have an issue and you don't want to be friends with someone like that anyway. I love that. Tell me more is what you can use in the middle of a conversation. So you've entered that conversation, you've had a good entry strategy. Now you need a good mid-game strategy. And I love that. Tell me more is going to be your mid-game strategy. So you're in the conversation, you're asking questions, they're responding, they're asking you questions, you're responding, you ask them something and they say something interesting and you're like, wait, I want to show that I'm really impressed that this person is able to do this, and I really like that there's a common point of interest. Your mid-game strategy is going to start at that point. You are then going to say, oh my gosh, you said you do blank. I love that. Tell me more. That is such a good way to keep the conversation flowing and to actually show that you're interested in this conversation that's taking place, that you actually love this thing that this person has brought up, and there's a common point of interest. I will say though, with these two things, these are things that when implementing these in a conversation that you're having with a stranger, you're going to have to keep the interaction very short. And the only reason or the only way you are going to extend the interaction is if the other person wants to extend it. Because you've approached them, right? You don't know if you're imposing on them or whatever. And it's not your business to think about that. But if you keep the interaction short, you respect their time should they need to be somewhere. And if they actually enjoyed this pleasant conversation with you, then they will be willing to extend the conversation. If it's going well, ask for their social media after. But if you feel like you just want to cut the conversation short, you just be like, well, it was lovely meeting you. And then they'll say you too or something like that, and then you just go off your own separate ways. Please have somewhere you need to go after. Okay, don't just cut this conversation short if you guys are going to remain in the same place. That's it for the first section of the video. Now I'm going to give you guys character examples that you guys can look at and emulate to really study how they make friends and how they interact with other people. So the one movie that I'm really just going to talk about is Bratz, the live action movie. And in the live action movie, there's a section where it's the girls' first day of school and they're in secondary school, and they all split off into their own personal interests because they're looking to join these extracurricular activities that their secondary school offers, and they're just interacting with people. They're in social spaces having social interactions with these people that they've never met before. Of course, maybe the Bratz girls are a little bit more extroverted, but one thing I want you guys to focus on is how natural this is. They're not really thinking too much about what they're saying, whether they're saying the right thing, whether they're standing the right way. They are out of their own head, and that is what I want you guys to do. I want you to get out of your own head and remain in the present. And you can watch this movie to really see how they do that, okay? Think less and do more. So now that we have discussed that movie, we are now onto the homework chapter of this video, where I'm going to give you guys practical tips and things to do today to make sure that you guys can make friends. Task number 1, go online, open your laptop, open your phone, and find out what groups are near you, what groups or extracurricular activities that your school offers around things that you are interested in or a hobby that you already do, and go. Task number 2, compliment one person this week. One person, that's it. It doesn't have to lead to a conversation. If it stops after the compliment, that's fine. You talk to someone. You talk to someone. Well done. Well done. That is literally one more step closer to you being such a good conversationalist and for you to implement that to the next friend that you are going to make. And task number 3 is practice small talk with an existing friend or sibling. Before I went into university, this is when I was really socially awkward and I didn't know how to speak to people. So I sat there with my sister and practiced how I was going to speak to other people. It might not be a conventional or normal way to do things, but for some people, it really helps. Practice really helps me because I am more of a kinesthetic learner and more of a visual learner. So once I have conceptualized how to do something, then I know it's going to be easier for me to do after. If you are like me, practice small talk with a friend or a sibling, practice conversation topics and conversation starters, and familiarize yourself with them. Get to know the language and the art of small talk, and I'm telling you, it's going to be second nature. It will become your mother tongue at some point, and you will be such a good conversationalist, and you're going to make such good friends. I just want to end this video by saying, for all the people that think that there is something wrong with them just because they are shy or just because they're introverted, there is nothing wrong with you. Everybody interacts with the world in their own way. You have advantages just as extroverts have advantages, and you have weaknesses just as extroverts have weaknesses. Play to your advantages, and your personality type, regardless of what it is, will take you far. You can do what everybody else can do, you will just do it a little bit differently, but the results will still be the same, I promise you. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys make at least one friend this week. Comment down below your experience of doing the homework tasks that I gave you. I would love to just scroll and tell me about it. I want to know. If you want to know how to have the confidence of a star, if it's the confidence that you were lacking that's not getting you there, I already have a video for that. Do not worry. By the end of today, you are going to know how to be so much more confident, and you are going to be able to step in the right direction for that. And if you already kind of have the fundamental understanding of how to be confident, but you keep making mistakes, you feel like you're not presenting yourself properly as a confident person, I've also made a video telling you guys what things can give you away as someone that lacks confidence from someone who used to be a former pretender of high confidence, and that will be on this side of the video. But take your time, go through both of those videos and leave comments. Guys, we love to talk to each other on this channel. It's a very open space, and I'll see and respond to every single comment. I hope you guys enjoy this video and have such a lovely day. Bye.